course, my name is Vanessa Jones Hall. I live in Astoria Houses. My family been here since 1951. I've traveled and came back home and seen how my community have made such a drastic change. Since COVID shut down, I've been working with Jacob A. Riis Neighborhood Settlement for the COVID-19 as the program manager for Test and Trace. And since we started this with the shutdown, our communities of Astoria Houses, Ravenswood Houses, Queenswood Houses, and even the communities surrounding us, but mainly the Niger Houses, went into such a frenzy of fear and wondering what was going on. And it didn't help that added mostly to that confusion was what was coming from our administration and how it's like everyone wasn't ready, just like 9/11. We keep hearing, oh, you'll get these messages on your TV that this message will appear in the case of an emergency, and that didn't happen. And this is something like the same thing. It didn't happen. And when it was where we had to try to figure a way to calm down each other, to hear each other, was quite difficult, because with all of the frenzy going on in the media, with the administration in the past president having all these constant accusations going and never touching the issue of the coronavirus. And this caused a problem where you had people immediately losing their jobs. You had people immediately finding themselves without any food and not getting the care they need. Personally, to this day, I have lost 84 loved ones since this happened. And it's not all because of the virus, but due to the virus. I've lost two sisters, two brothers, a nephew, and a host of cousins and best friends. That's like family to me. And my uncle, but the one that hurts the most is my sister, passed in June, when in March, the third week of March, she was supposed to receive a pacemaker. And it was well aware that if she did not get this pacemaker, she would just drop dead. And that's exactly what happened to her, because they called her, canceled her appointment 2 days before this procedure. And we tried to keep her going. And she just woke up and said, I'm tired, and fell to the floor. And this is what's been happening a lot in the communities, just in the Astoria Houses, and watching how the lines that we started doing the food distributions in got longer. And we use that as a vehicle in order for us to be able to communicate with the residents and really finding out what's going on with them, as well as giving them the best communication that we can and kind of try to educate them. And it was hard to try to earn that trust. We had to actually go and knock on doors and let them know we're here. But good thing that they seen familiar faces that they were able to trust. But the bottom line was that the line started getting longer because of the people losing their jobs. Some of them was having problems with their welfare cases, their social security, even with their housing issues that they were dealing with. And then you had people who were homebound that wasn't able to get their meals sent to them. So this made us be able to make this happen. And when you see these people talking about how they don't have any food and what they're going to do about their children, and trying to explain to their kids what's happening when they're going through their own mental state of the situation, this was an opportunity for everyone to come together in the community, as well as all of those who I am so thankful for partnering with me in aiding our communities that made this happen, bringing in food, more food with the local restaurants we partnered with, as well as bringing in clothing and the voting libraries. And it became a community within itself, combining together no matter what was your race. And this is what made out of this tragedy a blessing, because we were able to come and hear each other out. We were able to come and understand where we each was coming from. And I'm so thankful for even Thanksgiving, for those who came and all those restaurants that had contributed to our communities, no matter whether they celebrated Thanksgiving or not. This was an opportunity to bring so many people together and help each other out. We had gas outages. We had people come together and give us crop pots for those residents. And then we had people who didn't have any heat. We had people come in and want to give heaters. So this was a beautiful thing. But what a lot of politicians need to understand, and that I'm asking a lot of you is to really pay attention to how these communities of color is really being ignored, is really not being given the proper way of communicating and fairly. That's why I joined the community board, because that gave me an opportunity to let them know that we're part of this community and we deserve the right to be heard and be recognized and understand the disparities that we're going on, not just with this COVID situation, but even educationally. We still got families whose children have yet to be able to get linked into the websites because they don't have the laptops or they don't have the Wi-Fi, and it's still unfair. And if these parents are being forced to put their children to school, although they might not want to, because they got to go to work, So these are things I think that you'll need to look into. Helping Hospital with the proper funding that's needed. Help these other organizations like NYCHA is in desperate need of funding. We have an environmental issue because our garbage is not being picked up or our grounds are not being cleaned because of the lack of money for maintenance. So we're just asking for you to look further into the communities that you're going to be serving, and we hope that you will honor us and understand each and every diversity of communities that you are going to embark with, and wishing you the best of luck. And thank you for allowing me to speak.